Yo!
What is up? Welcome to Tuesday night. Another episode of the UTG Market Update. Tex and Ads here with you. Whoa, BTC, alts,
Wow.
everything in between. It is absolutely cracking, and we're going to have a look at our favorite setups tonight and a couple that we've been sharing inside the Discord. What an incredible run it has been. We were a little scared to say it the other day. We said, dare we say it? Is it the A word? Well, it's officially a little mini alt season kicking off right now. There are so many things popping. So let's get straight into it. Of course, for everything that we do here at UTG, be sure to head over to the Unity Trading Group website. It's unitytradinggroup.com.au. Tons of free guides, our indicators, and of course, you can be a part of our incredible Trade Hacker Discord, Facebook group, and also the YouTube channel for tons of free guides and our updates every single week. So unitytradinggroup.com.au. All right, let's get straight into the charts. BTC, you can see that we've spiked off that demand zone after that recent dump on the daily that we can see here. And Ads, are we approaching that supply zone once again?
Yeah, to be honest, we are. Look, it's not convincing just yet, to be honest with you. We have pushed down to this level of demand that we had just recently. It's a very low quality, should I say, or very short-term level of demand at 17,750, pushing down off that level at 19K. And we haven't really made any higher highs or lower lows as of yet. Like I said, we did push off that demand level down here at this 17,750, but that's not a lower low at all in the market structure, especially looking at the 4-hour time frame. Not one bit. In the way of BTC, are we actually making this sort of formation again that we've seen many times before, Ty? And it's a little bit skewed, but it is there. And are we going to push back up to this supply? I think we actually might see a move back up to this 19K to retest this level for a second time. And like I've mentioned in some of the daily updates previously, this level is the last stop, Ty. Bro, this level is the last stop. We have nothing after this in the way of market structure or previous market structure to go off when we're talking about a level of supply. So this is the point of no return.
Seeing a lot of people calling the hit of that supply zone and that all-time high and potentially a blow-off top or a retrace back to that 16.2 level, seeing a lot of that on the Twitters and the Facebooks. What are your thoughts on that and potentially dumping hard from that previous all-time high level?
Look, it's definitely a possibility because like we've explained or like we've had a look previously to... I think it was last week, not this week, it was last week, some point last week, or even the week before, we released a video about it. It was called The Indicator You Need to See. And if you haven't watched that, watch that, and it'll give you an insight on how to read the CME or the COT on the CME, which is the commitment of traders, and what traders are in the market. Are they small time? Are they big time? Or are they professional traders? So it really determines what size the accounts that they're using and what open interest they've got on BTC at any given time. We know that the big accounts on the CME side of things in terms of account managers, big accounts, hedge funds, stuff like that, they haven't been long for quite some time on BTC. I haven't checked it since then, so that might have changed slightly. However, it's a very big possibility that we double top at that higher 19,620K or 19,900 area and come down pretty hard. It is a massive possibility, and something that I'm not discounting. The only thing that I am worried about right now, and the only thing that I am looking at, is this level of supply, and if we break that.
And we've seen how well the fibs that you have there have been respected. Do you reckon there's the ability to have something like this where we do bust through that demand zone, have a hit up towards there, and then potentially a trace from here? Because we can see how well all of these levels have been respected the whole way down. You would think that if we were to reject off this 61.8 and sort of confidently make our way back up, then that could be the next pit stop. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely agree with that. And that's something that I've spoken about on some of the videos, or the video yesterday, I believe it was just our Monday daily update, that pending the break of this level of supply, and if we get some more volume into this market, and I'll bring up the volume indicator that we've got, if we get some more volume and we get the legs to push us through, then the 138 is probably the first level that I would look towards. And pending that, I'd be looking to draw some trend-based Fibonacci to really give us some indication on which direction or which targets or areas of interest above that to look for, pending the break of that supply. Not getting too ahead of ourselves just yet. We haven't seen any sort of bullish movement in the last little bit. We've been really stagnated, moving to the right, giving those altcoins, as we already know, altcoins a little bit of a flurry, but nothing just yet. We'll see over the next day or so, even towards the end of the week. This could move sideways for quite some time before we see that supply being broken or retested again, Ty.
Yeah, totally. This could be, we see when BTC has a little bit of a simmer that people start pulling money from BTC and then they start going back into alts, whether it be BTC pairs to accumulate more Bitcoin in order to put it back into Bitcoin. And while that continues to run, or we could just see this range for a little bit of time, and then we could see some of these alt pairs have a continued run that we're seeing at the moment. I think for a good portion of this year, we have not seen extended alt seasons, if you want to call it like that. We've seen these little mini alt storms, if you want to call it that, where we have 1 to 2 weeks of aggressive altcoin trading where you do need to be in front of the screens a lot. It's almost like you're throwing a dart and you're making money, whether it be USD pairs or BTC pairs in this case. So certainly be cautious of the fact that once BTC does or potentially gets to this supply zone and potentially breaks through that, you would imagine there'd be a lot of FOMO buying at that point. I think alts will pull back aggressively from that point. So I would be very cautious as we get towards this supply zone, but don't discount the blow off top, or indeed don't discount a continued run when people start throwing tons of cash at it. Fundamentally, BTC is at one of the strongest points I think we have seen in recent memory, with the likes of Pantera Capital, PayPal.
Yes.
Lots of big fundamental players in this zone. BlackRock talking about having very high allocations of Bitcoin to satisfy retail demand or to satisfy their own capital demand of BTC. So fundamentally, we're at a very, very strong point right now for BTC. But of course, I would be cautious as we approach these levels and certainly enjoy the alt runs. Speaking of alt ads, let's have a look at FUSD and see what's going on with the second in command.
FUSD really, finally pushing up in the direction that we all know it should be. So when I say it that way, I'm really referring to, the ability that ETH-USD, even Litecoin or some of the other high cap USD pairs, I'm more referring to them as following BTC as they usually would. And it has to some degree, but nowhere near in the same sort of fashion it usually does. So it's really nice to see Ethereum finally moving in that direction and giving us the real direction that we're looking for. In all honesty, BTC's been running to the upside, and Ethereum hasn't had any sort of upside, in this like parabolic upside movements or even sustainable upside movements for quite some time. So it's good to see some volume coming back into Ethereum after the dismal volume that we've been observing over the last couple of months. In saying that, however, we've pushed past this 617 or 600. It was between 600 and about 615 level of supply now, and we need to start looking to the upside. So if I draw in the next level that I'm really looking towards for Ethereum, if this run to the upside does continue, it's the 700 mark, and I honestly seen that number being thrown around the Discord for the last day or so, Ty.
Yeah, and it's finally ETH is getting to this point that we've been waiting for ages. I think once we had that, we stagnated for such a long time between sort of 400 and 360, and then we had that pop up to that 475 level on that retrace, that 485 level on that retrace, and we were a little bit unsure as to whether that was going to be this was going to be the level that would hurt Ethereum, but it absolutely ate it, and then it's continued on upwards. So yeah, I see the correlation now. I think whilst BTC has this small consolidation or even continues to the upside towards that supply zone, I think that ETH is got the legs to continue it and follow it upwards, ads.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's I do think Ethereum. Excuse me. I do think Ethereum is primed to head up to that 700. However, we are observing exactly what we've been observing for BTC on the last couple of weeks, just over a month now, where we're seeing these indicators come up to this overbought condition now. But are they going to be a little bit misleading, Ty? We're going to see that run to 700 with that overbought condition still being satisfied. It remains to be seen.
Yeah, certainly. And we look at the moves that we've seen over the last few days, they've been quite impulsive. So I think compared to where the indicators may normally lie, where you would experience Steamroller, for example, is typically very, very accurate across ETH, BTC. But we're seeing, because of all this FOMO buying and all the fundamentals around Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole, some of these indicators are not being satisfied because they're being left to the wayside because the money is flowing into it, and the prices are running up at this sort of parabolic rate. So this is probably the time where I heed caution, certainly when it comes to Steamroller, when it's saying it's in this overbought condition, but I'm not putting all of my weight on that. That's where a really great sort of backup strategy like our UTG strategy, being supply and demand, which you can see on the screen, is so valid, because once we see the break of a supply or demand zone, using Fibonacci, for example, along with indicators to sort of give you that secondary confirmation, or to sort of be ignored in certain situations like this, it becomes a very, very a very good strategy to abide by, and a simple one at that, ads.
Absolutely, it does. And the rules, not so much the rules, but the trading strategy speaks for itself in the way that we moved through the previous level of supply. So automatically you're looking for, a retest of that level, or you can even draw your fibs to really get some more volatility or pick up some of that coin, before it moves to the next one. But in any case, we move through one, we move to the next. So we've moved through this. The next real area for me is looking at the next level above us, which is that 690, 700 area. So it's going to be interesting. And look, if we're pairing that with the indicators and moving oscillators, as we already know, as I've spoken about multiple times over the last couple of weeks, that the moving oscillators are a little bit flawed in the way that they're going to give you false signals, because you're going to be looking for those pullbacks, or those heavy pullbacks. You're going to be looking for those short opportunities, but the indicators are just staying overbought for quite some time. But we've got some things in the works to try and solve that moving oscillator problem with Steamroller with a future update. So hopefully that comes sooner rather than later, Ty.
100%. We had a good discussion the other night with our evil genius, who helps us with our indicators. So not only are we going to be improving Steamroller on the sort of a number of different elements, we're going to be introducing our banger indicator gravy train. We'll be talking a little bit more about that in the next couple of weeks as well. Excuse my little guy in the background here having a bark at ghosts, probably. All right, let's get into some of the well, actually, you know what? Let's talk about XRP, because with the run that's had, I think we need to touch on that. In terms of the USD pairs, it's almost throw a dart at the moment. If you want to know more of the USD pairs that we've been speaking about, ONT, WAN, Theta, XRP was one of them. Come over to the Discord, unitytradinggroup.com, and come in. Dill this morning had a really, really great setup on WAN USDT, just took 19% in a day, in a matter of hours. Tons of setups being shared every single day inside the Discord, or the Discord, or watch our daily updates. Ads, XRP.
XRP has been on a run, and I think there is, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a snapshot occurring on XRP in just a little bit, and they're going to give some coins away. So that might be a primer for some of the moves that we're seeing on XRP, just to give you an idea on why it would be running to the upside with quite fierce buying volume. That could be the reason it is doing that. But in any case, we have moved through the 3 levels that I had drawn in, and we have pushed up to 80 cents now, 80 cents USD. So if we're looking at that, I've been updating this chart every couple of hours, and it's been smashing through all the levels. So we're going to have a look and see where this level could next go. And we're looking at this market pivot point around this area here, which is 90 cents. So back up here, we're looking at this market pivot point. Oops, that was terrible. Let's have a look. There we go, right up here. This is the market pivot point I'm looking at, and then continuing down. So this is the next high quality area of supply that I'm looking towards. And honestly, we're not that far away. If we do get some of the massive volume increases that we're seeing as of late, then we can probably expect it to get there. And more than likely, that's 88.5 cents. If I draw that horizontal ray in there. Look, this is not financial advice, of course. I'm looking at the TA that's to the left. I'm paying attention to the market, the strategy that we employ here at UTG. We break one level, we look up to the next. Trade with caution, obviously.
Yeah, and a few weeks ago we spoke about the importance of that 30-cent level, and if we could hold and break and hold above 30 cents, we were primed for a little bit of a run. This sort of run I wasn't quite expecting, but certainly the catalyst for that was that holding above that level, that 31-cent level. So good call on that one a few weeks ago. Ads. All right, should we have a look very quickly at the BTC dominance chart, and then we're going to get into the DXY, and then we'll call it a night.
The dominance chart has moved through that level of demand that we really spoke about today in the Discord. Actually, I just quickly shared a chart while I was at work, actually, and we were moving through this relevant level of demand, although it is low quality. If I had to choose a level as of yet, or right now, in the way of which way we're going to end up, or where are we going to end up, it would be roughly around that 58.42, 58.31. So if we moved down towards that level for the BTC dominance chart, it's going to give back a little bit more market cap towards those altcoins, and we could see these runs continue. However, these parabolic runs start and finish as quickly as they go up, and they go down as quickly as they go up. So just be very cautious, trade what you can lose, and don't get greedy. If you're in a trade and you're looking towards an upwards level of demand, take your profit, take some off the table. Don't make the same mistakes that the traders made in 2017 with parabolic moves. Everything's popping around us. So just take your profits off the table and be cautious as possible. But however, moving down towards that level of 58.25, 58 even for BTC dominance, it looks like it could give some more back to the alts for now, Ty.
Ooh, yes please, ads. Yes, please. All right, let's get into the DXY. Of course, looking at the DXY and the regulator markets, none of what we provide here is financial advice, purely just opinion only. If you do want to know more about these Forex or regulator markets, speak to your financial advisor.
So during this week, I've been looking at the DXY, and I encourage everyone, even if you do not trade Forex, even if you do not trade the regulated markets, even if you do not care about the regulated markets, you need to be looking at this chart. The DXY is the global reserve currency index. It is the pair that BTC is up against. So it's BTC USD. That's the main trading pair. So you need to be charting the DXY to get a sort of a glimpse on which direction or which way that BTC could possibly go in relation to the DXY. Not directly correlated, but it is paired together. So the DXY, this is the level that I was looking for. This is the price action that I was really referring to in the update last night. We were teetering around this level of supply for quite some time, and I did expect to move down on a lower low, and that's what we've gotten. We've had a knee-jerk reaction back up to the 61.8, I do admit. However, we are swiftly moving through this level of demand, and we are more than likely going to end up back down at this 91.70. I'm not going to say where we're going to end up after that, because it is quite a decent level, and we've got a market pivot point here, so it is subject to front run at this stage, but this is the level that I'm really looking towards. I'm going to assess the market when we do get there in the way of what our indicators look like, CCI, RSI, and of course Steamroller. Steamroller is very accurate on a regulated pair like the DXY, especially when we've got such a vast amount of data, and it is regulated market at the end of the day, so it does respect TA a little better than we're used to. But I will look at the chart back then more than when we do get down there, but when we get to this level here around 91.8 to around this 91.7, in that sort of region, more than likely we'll see Steamroller back down to this oversold condition, and we'll be ready to make a little bit of a movement to the upside to give it some relief, or even maybe we could expect some sort of reversal at that level, but we'll have to wait and see for that. But in any case, we've moved through this level of demand now, and we are moving down towards the next one, if not that 91.8, just a little bit of front run that we usually see before these big levels of demand or supply. Moving on, however, we'll have a quick look at the All Ordinaries and the SPX 500. So the All Ordinaries moving swiftly towards that 138 level of Fibonacci. We haven't moved our fibs in quite some time, and I'll probably need to adjust it just a little bit to give us an idea of where we can expect. So the 138 does correlate very loosely with our level at 7,200. This is where we found this market dump from, or come down from in around February, March. So this is the black swan event that we're really referring to over the last few months. But moving up since then, and this has been recovering quite nicely since our movement down. However, we're not out of the woods yet in the way of the global financial situation, so we need to keep an eye on the All Lords, of course, and of course the SPX 500. But in any case, there's no real movement, or there's no real liquidity to the left-hand side in this downward sloping movement to really tell us that we're going to stop anywhere in between 6,500 and 7,200. So it is a pretty straight run towards that level of supply up the top there. And of course, we've got a little bit of liquidity to move through when we're talking about areas on the left here. And the most notably, the one that I can see immediately would be this one pretty much here, where we've got this support resistance flip. We've got the resistance here, and then obviously the support just to the left of it. So that's something that we can look towards. And of course, it is not around a nice round number at 7,000. So psychological resistance, that I like to call it. Something that we can look towards, and of course expect maybe a pullback before we continue up to that 7,200 if we do get it. Moving on to the SPX 500. The SPX 500 did make the movement through and above that level of supply, making an all-time high at this 127 fib extension. What I'm looking for now, I'm looking for more bullish movement and a close above this. So we're not going to see any all-time highs or any vast or fierce movements to the upside if we don't close above this level. We've tested it more than likely 3 times, or we have tested it 3 times now in the way of this wick, and of course this semi tweezer top on a smaller time frame if you do look at the smaller time frame. So I'm looking for a movement to the upside, a close, and then we can start using our trend-based Fibonacci to really gauge where we're going to end up past this. And of course, with our normal fibs, we've got this 224, 261 fib extension at 3,949 and 4,000. However, they're quite a ways away now, and especially with the S&P 500 doesn't move any faster than the All Ordinary, so it's going to take quite some time to get there. So if we do move and close above, I'll be trust me, I'll be drawing our trend-based Fibonacci to really gauge where that's going to end up. But yeah, that really concludes our live stream for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed that. We've been on for about 26 minutes now, and I think we've covered everything we want to cover, Ty.
Yep, 100%. If you have feedback or anything that you would like to say in terms of how we present these sessions each night or each few nights with Ads and myself, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, share, let us know your thoughts, and we will adapt it. Everything we do here, we do for free, and we do because we love sharing with the community. So thank you very much for joining us. unitytradinggroup.com. Come over to the Discord, and we'll see you for the next update.
See you guys then.